Well, good day, y'all. Uncle Frank here. Uh, Done posted one little video today. Thought I'd do another one. Uh, and again, this is Facebook oriented because you see all sorts of things on Facebook. Uh, and I have friends for and against certain things. So I just thought I'd voice my opinion in my wonderful, eloquent way that I like to do so. So let's talk about the Confederate flag and Confederate monuments in general. Now, I'm a Southerner, as you may have figured out. I was born and raised in the South in a Southern culture. Uh, I've seen the Confederate flag my whole life. And I have mixed thoughts about it. If you talk to people on both sides of the aisle on this issue with not just the Confederate flags, but the dozens and dozens of monuments throughout the South with Robert E. Lee, Jeff Davis, Stonewall Jackson, you know, Jeb Stuart on them, uh, you will hear extreme views from both sides. On one side, the ones for it say they are symbols of Southern pride, they're symbols of the history of the South. The monuments are just as much veteran memorials as any other. Uh, that the Confederate flag is, there's nothing wrong with it. Then you hear those on the other side who say the Confederate flag and those monuments are symbols of fucking slavery and their legacies of traitors and a traitorous time in America, and they need to be destroyed. That way we can move on. As long as we have those monuments and that flag, we're always going to have racism. Well, let me tell you something. We're always going to have fucking racism. And racism is not confined or never has been confined to the South. Let me tell you a little something in history. In the late 1850s, before the Civil War, there were as many racist, anti-black people in the North as there were in the South. Because those coal miners, those in Pennsylvania, those iron mill workers, those textile mill workers, those factory workers in the North, they didn't want free slaves, ex-slaves coming up there and competing for their job. No. Oh, they wanted them free. That's fine. But load them on a boat and send them back to Africa. That's what they wanted. They were just as racist. Now, that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to that flag. This is my view on it. There's nothing wrong with that Confederate flag being flown. Uh, if you don't like it, don't fly it. But you have no right to tell someone they can't have that flag on their truck. You have no right to tell someone they can't have that flag in front of their house. I will say there are some common sense things to go with that flag. The Confederate flag should never be flown above the legal state flag or the U.S. flag. Never. To do so is a sign of disrespect. Little common sense, though. If you are a white family or a white person living in a predominantly African American community, might not want to fly it in front of your house or have it in the back window of your pickup truck. Just like a predominantly white neighborhood or city with a black family, they probably wouldn't want to put up their Black Panther flag or their Black Power flag. I mean, that's just common sense. Let's try and keep the friction down. As for the monuments, yes, those monuments are just as important to us as any monument in the North. Those graves are just as important as any grave of every veteran. And under federal law, those Confederate soldiers, sailors, and Marines are considered U.S. veterans. They have the same rights, privileges, and protections, even in death, that any other veteran grave has. So, in short, they ought not be pulling the flag down. It shouldn't be made illegal. If you want to fly it, fly it. But don't fly it just to flaunt the fact that I'm flying a rebel flag. Half these people in the South anymore, they fly a rebel flag and they don't even know what it stands for. They just do it because they want to piss people off. Really? That's the problem with the world. Everyone just wants to piss people off. I'm Uncle Frank. That's the Redneck Truth. Y'all have a great day and God bless.